Tomorrow marks 10 years since the police shooting of Jamar Clark in Minneapolis. The 24-year-old died during a struggle with two white police officers and then sparked weeks of community protests and Black Lives Matter marches. Clark's death also brought about the beginnings of the MPD's reform amid calls for racial justice. But what's changed in the last decade, and has the relationship improved at all between community and police? Our Danny Spiewak is here now with more on that story. Danny?
Jennifer, coming a year after the unrest in Ferguson, Missouri, there was heightened attention on the Jamar Clark shooting in Minneapolis. While the officers involved were cleared, the incident has shaped the city in many ways over the last decade.
Jamar Clark!
10 years ago, the shooting of Jamar Clark during a scuffle with Minneapolis police led to an 18-day occupation of the 4th Precinct and accelerated a protest movement led by activists like Brettina Davis.
And we're all looking for justice in different ways.
A decade later,
it kind of feels like yesterday to a lot of us who were out there in the field.
Davis views the Clark incident as a catalyst for Twin Cities activism. In the years before Philando Castile and George Floyd.
A lot of people continued to build and continued to talk about it, and I think the activists who were out there for Jamar Clark were the people who built that momentum for all these other things to come forward.
MPD later cleared Mark Rangenberg and Dustin Schwarzy of any wrongdoing in Clark's killing. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman also declined to charge them, saying DNA evidence showed Schwarzy fired at Clark after Clark grabbed for his partner's gun.
Rangenberg repeatedly told his partner Schwarzy, "He's got my gun. He's got my gun."
Still, the incident exposed rifts in police-community relations.
I think policing's changed as far as the amount of training that we do.
Richfield Police Chief Jay Hinthorn is president of the Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association.
De-escalation, implicit, explicit bias, cultural diversity. The technology has changed. You look at body cameras, has drastically changed how we police on a day-to-day basis within the last 10 years.
For activists after Jamar Clark who questioned the police version of the events, though, change hasn't come fast enough.
There shouldn't be this many people who are losing their lives to police brutality.
And there is an event scheduled tomorrow, Jennifer, in North Minneapolis that will mark the exact date, 10 years since Jamar Clark's death.
And you touched on this, but I think the de-escalation and the technology are really two big things that stand out that's really changed. Is there anything else that the chief brought up that stood out to you?
You know, those are really the two biggest things. I think technology for sure was the number one thing he said. Body cameras, especially in Minneapolis police, were just in their infancy back then. Now, of course, they're widespread, not only in Minneapolis, but really in agencies across the country and the state.
And certainly provide a look at things that we never got to see before. Thanks, Danny.